My name is Chris Gillia. Today we're going to be talking about the death penalty. It's definitely something that has a long history in our country, and it's still a very controversial issue that we see today. In fact, there's a measure coming up on the November ballots that's going to potentially end the death penalty in California. So just sit back and enjoy the presentation and let me know what you think. Thanks. The first recorded death penalty was of Captain George Kendall on the grounds of treason. They took his life in Jamestown, Virginia, 1607, and it was death by firing squad. There are several landmark court cases when dealing with the death penalty. The 1910 court case, Weems v. U.S., the court determined that the term cruel and unusual punishment was not clearly defined in the Constitution and that, quote, cruel and unusual definitions are subject to changing interpretations, unquote. Ring v. Arizona case in 2002 was significant because the United States Supreme Court determined that the jury must find an aggravating factor to exist for cases in which those factors underlie a judge's choice to impose the death penalty. Bays v. Rees in 2008 determined that the method of lethal injection was not a cruel and unusual punishment. Thus, lethal injection did not violate the country's Eighth Amendment. Critics of the death penalty feel that it has many negative effects. Many feel it is immoral, brutal, and unjust. Former Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens says, killing is killing, even if the state does it. Joe Maserli, an individual who has written numerous articles and websites about the death penalty, thinks, why kill people who kill people to show killing is wrong? Critics of the death penalty also believe that the death penalty has no actual crime deterrent. The DNA evidence has not only exonerated many individuals from death row, but also is not sufficient enough to convict someone of capital punishment, and the cost of death row is not worth someone's life. What do you think? Do you agree with the critics that the death penalty is brutal, unfair, and unjust? That somehow killing a murderer is something bad? Well, let's see what a victim's family has to say firsthand.
The man accused of murdering a Stockton mother made his first court appearance today. He was loud and outspoken.
I was never holding a gun.
At court today, Devon Epps yelling out that he never owned a gun, but prosecutors say a gun wasn't used in the murder he's accused of.
Epps is charged with murdering 35-year-old Veronica Jones. Her body was discovered this week. She'd been missing for about 6 months.
New tonight, KCRA3's Damani Lewis sat down with Jones' family to learn more about her.
My son was murdered. And my cousin Caesar, he passed away.
I just want justice to be served for my son, J.J. Lewis, who was murdered.
Among the dozens of people here at a memorial for loved ones killed in a violent crime,
My sister was a loving soul.
David Jones's emotional wounds of losing his sister Veronica may be the freshest.
I do not understand why this happened to my sister.
Jones says his family believes Veronica's badly decomposed body was found on the top floor of this apartment complex Monday. He says she was found inside the apartment of Devon Epps.
They were courting. They were dating. I was never holding a gun in my life, sir.
Epps appeared in court facing several charges, including murder. Jones says the man who yelled in court isn't the same man they thought they knew over the last month while the two dated.
He did not disrespect nothing. He was just respectful to me.
Jones says Veronica suffered from anxiety issues and depression, and the couple looked out for each other. He has taken it upon himself to contact Veronica's 9 children who live in different cities and states about her death. He says he wants them to remember her for the person she was.
As a mother, as a person, loving. She loved all of us.
Jones's children range in age from 1 to 19 years old. Epps is due back in court next week. In Stockton, Damani Lewis, KCRA 319.
The death penalty is truly the only punishment that fits the crime. It is the fairest consequence, and I, like many other supporters of the death penalty, believe an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth doctrine. Many individuals claim that the DNA evidence does not support the death penalty, but according to www.deathpenaltyinfo.com, a website that seems to be against the death penalty, 9 out of 1,000 people who have been executed are possibly innocent. That's less than 1%. So these less than 1% of inmates who are executed and quote-unquote possibly innocent are going to end capital punishment altogether, even though 99% of the executions were implemented correctly. Crime deterrence may not have a huge effect on the death penalty. However, John McAdams of Marquette University's Department of Political Science believes, quote, "If we execute murderers, and there is in fact no deterrent effect, we have killed a bunch of murderers. If we fail to execute murderers, and doing so would in fact have deterred other murderers, we have allowed the killing of a bunch of innocent victims." Current Chief Justice Antonin Scalia believes, "You want to have a fair death penalty? You kill, you die. That's fair. You wouldn't have any of these problems about, you kill a white person, you kill a black person. You want to make it fair? You kill, you die." Understanding both sides of an argument is vital to making a good evaluation. After doing the research and taking in considerations the opinions on both sides, it seems clear that it is only fair to keep the death penalty in existence. Using the death penalty effectively is the only way we can prevent murderers from ever killing again and give victims' families the closures they need. It is only fair to deliver justice by making the punishment fit the crime.